If you have any questions, please put your hands up. Jazakumullah khairan. For the sisters that are listening, please send your questions with papers. Now, Fadl. I'll start with him because he started his question. Fadl.
I said I'm diabetic person, I'm a blood pressure. I send in Africa my fasting and my fidra. And some, as you're talking, some people they say Somalia or Africa is another place. The place you stay, there is a poor people and skinny people, you have to pay. What about that? Already I send in my home.
Okay. I don't know. There's people here in your. Here.
Yeah, I'm Somali.
But I'm just saying, is there any poor people in Northampton that will take wheat and barley? I don't think so.
Really, why not? The people are sleeping in the room.
No, these are kuffar. Kuffar Muslims. It has to be Muslims. Have you find Muslim people? They will. If you bring them wheat, they'll accept from you. If you have to give them. But if you gave anyway home, you will be accepted. This person, he says that I do not fast because I'm diabetic.
My second equation.
Let me answer. You said that you are diabetic, yes?
Yes.
May I ask Allah will give you cure. The diabetic person is chronic illness, long-term illness, and the person is required from him not to fast. Is advised not to fast, especially if he's type 1 or injection or Allah al-Musta'an, Allah yashfik. So he will make, which we call it redemption, that is Sadaqatul Iftar, which is the Kafara. Fidya, Fidya. SubhanAllah, the glucose is dropping down on me. The Fidya. The person, when he does, which we call it redeeming or redemption or ransoming, I don't know the English word for it, that is Fidya, and this Fidya is it'am, feeding the poor person. How much? Half a sa'. Not the 3 kilos, 1.5 kilos. Or you give him a meal. Either a meal or what? Half a sa', which is 1.5 kilos for every day that you fast. But in your case, you have to remember, if you've sent your money to those people in Somalia for your al-Fidya, make sure that these people will not feed those poor people this Fidya until Ramadan is finished, or day by day. So they can't give it to the poor people before you finish Ramadan. If you understand what I'm saying. So I can't give Fidya of tomorrow. I could give Fidya today and the days before, but I can't give Fidya of the 29th because I haven't.
Maybe they pay you all together once.
So I'm afraid if you have done that, you have to do it again. You have to do it again.
Again.
Yes. So
again,
when did you send it? When did you send it?
Again, how I do the Ramadan?
When did you send it?
When did you send the money?
When did you send the money?
I sent it before the Ramadan was 18.
Before Ramadan? 18. So 18 Ramadan, so alhamdulillah, the first 18 days, that'd be okay. But after that, the 12 days, if you think that they've given it to them already, you have to do it again. 12 days. Do you understand me? Because they might have given it to the poor people, before you have finished the 12 days. It's like going to the policeman. This is £100. Why? I'm going to be speeding up in next month. Yeah. So you're giving your penalty before you speed. First of all, make your speeding, and then pay the penalty.
Sure. Also, I have a daughter who have age of 25. She's not living with me. She's living with her mother. Should I pay, or is not married still? Again,
I could pay on my daughter. She's living somewhere else with her mother. She's 25 or whatever her age is. I don't know why you're giving her age. The age has nothing to do with the Zakatul-Fitr.
Yeah.
So you could give Zakatul-Fitr on her behalf, but you have to tell her.
Fidra.
Zakatul-Fitr.
25 years. She's majul. She's not 14 or 12.
You could give on her behalf if you wish. I said you can.
If I don't wish, herself,
she's responsible. She's on her own. Yes.
That's great. Thank you.
It's only 3 kilos, ya akhi. 3 kilos of rice, 3 pounds. Allah al-Musta'an. تفضل.
You mentioned if you pay on behalf of an independent person, then you have to inform them. If you say
If you're paying a third party, you mean?
you pay the Zakatul-Fitr on behalf of an independent, like your brother who's independent, for example. But if you put it in the donation box and then inform, for example, my brother, would that be acceptable?
Yes to no.
Yes, no, before you put in the donation.
No, before it reaches to the
This
poor person.
Yeah.
It has to be before you reach the poor person. I paid your Zakatul-Fitr and it will be given as food. Has to be food. Has to know before the Sadaqah. Nah, before it reaches the poor person. Nah.
You know what we're talking about
Qul huwallahu ahad.
Are you allowed to read the same surah more than once?
Yes, you are. For the Prophet of Allah, he led the Fajr prayer and he recited إِذَا زُلْزِلَتْ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. The first rak'ah, second rak'ah, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتْ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. He repeated that twice. And even the companions, they thought that he forgot. No.
You know when you said that it's not good to do with like melody and to
Yes.
is it bad if you do that for
Even the dua of the Eid, we don't do melodies. Always without a melody. The dua is a dua. نعم. جزاك الله خيرا. تفضل. Do we have a microphone where we could really say it? Remember you had a microphone before, so the sisters can hear.
I can speak like that.
No, you're not for the brothers, I'm talking about the sisters. A microphone would be good for the person to ask the question in the microphone.
Sorry, Sheikh.
Yes, Jazakallah khairan.
The question is, what if the rest of the family, if they are non-Muslims, or you have brothers or younger ones or even children who are not Muslims, are you...
There is no Zakatul-Fitr to be paid on behalf of non-Muslim, nor the Zakatul-Fitr to be paid to a non-Muslim. So whether it is to a non-Muslim is not allowed, or on behalf of a non-Muslim, it's not going to be helping him. He's not a Muslim. Zakatul-Fitr is tuhratul lis-sa'im min Allah. It is a purification for the fasting person. He's not fasting from his indecent language. Now, تفضل. Hang on with the oh, uncle.
Sorry, my voice is not very clear.
Put the microphone next to your mouth.
My question is slightly different.
Hold the microphone before you put it in your mouth.
Different topic, you know.
Yes.
If I save, for example, if I put some money away for my death grave, you know, when I die, to do the
Funeral.
yes, funeral cost. If I put the money away, say for 10,000 or 5,000, whatever, we have to pay
Zakat.
on that.
Yes. You know, burying a person costs a lot of money these days. So we're talking about thousands of pounds. Yes, any person is putting aside money for, regardless of the reason, he has to pay zakah on that money. Okay, cool. You have to pay zakah on that money. Now, further.
Two questions. In addition to that, zakat to the debt. If I loan somebody money,
Zakah of the debt.
yeah, when do we pay?
So if I lent somebody money, do I pay zakah on that money that I lent? Is that a question? Yeah. Can I just ask the brothers to repeat the question because it takes consume time, so I would like it to be in the microphone.
Yeah.
Right. For verily the debts are two types. We call it dead debt and live debt. Dead debt means a person you lent him money and you ask him for the money, inshallah. Inshallah. It's been years and it's inshallah. Inshallah. And that word is on his mouth and you know it is dead. You're not gonna expect that money from him. There is no zakah on that money until you receive it. And when you receive it, do you pay zakah on every year that has been passed or in that particular year? Different scholars. And the correct opinion is only for 1 year, for that year that you receive. Not on all the years that you have, because you might come up with a lot of zakat to be paid. So in 1 year, when you receive it, you take 1 year. That's the correct opinion. As for the live debt, this is like saving. If I give a person which I know he will give me, it's like I'm putting my money in the saver, you know, like in a bank. I'm giving it to a brother to lend it, but I know that this brother will give it to me whenever I want it, or in 1 year, or whatever. And this debt, you have to add it to your money, and to pay zakat on its behalf. So if you have 2,000 you lent and you've got 5,000 in your pocket, you add the 2,000 which is you have lent to that person to the 5,000 and you pay zakat on all of the 7,000. Okay?
Every year.
Every year, of course, because it's a live debt. Now, what about the person who is the lender, the one who's lent the money, the one who borrowed the money? Does he pay zakat on the money that he borrowed? Well, if he kept the money, he did not use it, and stayed with him for more than a year, he has to pay zakat on it as well. So if he lent from me, if he borrowed £5,000 to do something, Quran, if he had borrowed £5,000 and he did not use the £5,000 and he kept it in his savings, he has to pay zakat on it. Why did you borrow it in the first place? So this money could be given zakat from two people, the creditor and the one who borrowed the money. Nah. Follow. End of the question. Yeah, with the microphone.
Just the Fidya.
No question from the sisters?
The Fidya who are getting paid. The Fidya.
They're cooking the food, that's why.
The food will be after Ramadan.
You have no problem to pay the fidya after Ramadan. At the end of the Ramadan, you could pay all of it. So for your question, you could pay it after Ramadan, no problem. Naam.
My brother, I paid.
It's too far, is it?
Okay, I gave £100 and lent that during Ramadan, but then also count for my as another brother said, Zakat.
You gave £100 Zakat-Fitr. If that money was given to the poor person in money, it will not reach as Zakatul-Fitr. It has to reach him in his food. So that person bought food and gave to the poor person, it will be accepted. But if it's just being given as money, it will be normal money, normal sadaqah. Okay. Now, again, come the question. Further.
If like your brother is poor, and
My brother is poor. Yes.
you pay zakat for him,
Yeah.
is that like because of?
Is it allowed to pay for zakat? Yeah. It's allowed to give zakat to any person from your family as long as you are not in charge of him. Like your son, your father, your mother, your wife. You can't give zakat to your wife or your son or your father or your mother. But I could give zakat to my sister or my brother who are independent from me. But if they were dependent upon me, like let's say for example my father died and I'm the eldest of my brothers, so I'm in charge to support them, I cannot give them zakat. Sadaqah ma'a nafaqa la yaltaqiyan. That's giving sadaqah, zakat, and plus I'm compelled to give the nafaqa, which is the expenditure, it does not work. So if I am compelled to give the expenditure, I can't give the zakat. Do you understand me? So if he's under my responsibility, then I can't give him zakat. Now.
Yes, Sheikh, my question is regarding about the dua you mentioned. The imam is making the dua of the Qunoot. Sometimes the imams they start with the ithna, they glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ma'mumin, sometimes you see people saying Ameen when someone is saying that. So what is the best thing to do?
The best thing first of all, tell the imam, do not start your dua al-Qunoot by glorifying Allah. Start it by the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, which is Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt. And after that, you could do whatever you like. After the 15th of Ramadan, you could add, as long as you're not really making explanation. You're making dua. So you're making the dua, you're not saying, for example, al-amtar, darabat, we have flood in this area. Why are we playing? It's not a khutbah Jumu'ah. And the less time the dua it is the better. So we're talking about a couple of phrases, couple of sentences. We're not talking about half a page dua or 1 page dua. People, they're not really with you with this. So when they glorify Allah Azza wa Jal, no problem these people to say Ameen. No problem. Because we can't really expect every person to understand what the Imam is saying. Okay? And you're saying Ameen to whatever comes after. Allahumma innaka anta al-haq, Ameen. Allahumma innaka, no problem, inshallah. So saying Ameen. It's exactly like when you break your fast. When you break fast, you say what? ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. ذهب الظمأ, the thirst is gone. وابتلت العروق, the veins are moistened. وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله, the reward is affirmed by the will of Allah. I could say this even before I moistened my veins and before I broke my thirst. I could just say before I start the food, Bismillah, ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق. Even I didn't have any, my moistened my veins, and even I didn't have any, I could just say it before. No problem, inshallah. Last question.
Abdullah.
On Laylatul Qadr, the malaik's gonna come down as human, or they just
The angels, when they descend down on the night of Al-Qadr, they descend down as angels. They don't descend as human beings. Okay? Because we can't see them. Fadl.
Sheikh, my question is with regard to Ramadhān. Can I ask you?
Yes.
As long as the deen.
If someone asks me, is non-Muslim, you want to pray with you, what you can say?
If a non-Muslim asks you to pray with him,
Yeah, you say, can I pray with you? Can I pray with you?
you mean pray Salah?
Yeah. But you tell him already he's not accepted because he's not Muslim. But he say, I want to try to.
Let him pray.
Yeah.
Let him. For verily the Prophet ﷺ, he had opened his masjid during the time when he was in the Medina to the disbelievers. They used to come and listen to the recitation of the Quran. They used to listen to the recitation of the Quran. One of the companions embraced Islam by imitating the adhan, and that is Abu Mahdura. He had heard Bilal making the adhan. He started bullying the adhan. Allahu Akbar, and he started Allahu Akbar, imitation. But he's not really a believer. And when the Prophet of Allah heard about him, he heard his voice is really nice, he called him. And then he put his hand in his chest and he said to embrace Islam. He became a Muslim and he became the mu'adhin of the Prophet of Allah in Mecca, Abu Mahdura. So the same thing he would say, that this person might embrace Islam from the prayer. Okay, some of the companions, Jubayr al-Mut'im radiallahu anhu, he had entered the masjid and he heard the Prophet of Allah in Salat al-Maghrib reciting وَالطُّورِ أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. As soon as he heard these verses, he said, my heart flew from my chest. كَادَ قَلْبِي أَن يَطِيرَ. And this is the first, he said, this is the first moment when Islam struck my heart. Hearing this, the recitation of the Quran. So we can't just tell them, you are a kafir, you can't listen to the Quran. Act. No. Let them pray. Some of them I know, he's a Muslim, mashallah now. He used to come behind me praying the Fajr. Not Muslim. I asked him myself, if he is Islam? He said, not yet. So why do you come to the Fajr prayer? He said, I want to try the hardest thing in Islam. The hardest thing that he, before he embraces Islam. The Fajr people, they don't come, he comes. More than one night, about 3-4 nights I've seen him. SubhanAllah. And he became Muslim, mashallah. But let's have another question. Well, I think I need to break my fast at home, inshallah. Behind you, somebody.
Just 2 quick questions. One regard about if somebody, a father who lives back home, you give him some money every month, and it's not sufficient, it's a family. And is it possible for you to pay, or when you send the money, is it payable for him as well?
Okay, this person is having his father and he is in need. His father is in need and he sends him salary and he pays Zakatul-Fitr or his normal zakah. Am I allowed to add to that money some of that zakah? If that money that you give him is not sufficient and you can't give him more, then you're allowed in this case to add some of the zakah onto that money. Okay? In that case, don't widen up this code, okay? But you can't give him zakah on itself, you have to give him money. You're giving him money. But because that money is not enough, so you add him from that zakah on top of that, it's no problem.
And the second question, you just come to the masjid and the imam is on ruku praying Salah, for example, and you just join through the ruku. After finish, will you count as down as rak'ah, or you need to feel back?
If you join the imam in the ruku', a controversial amongst the scholars. The correct opinion is man adraka al-rak'ah faqad man adraka al-ruku' faqad adraka al-rak'ah. He who joins up the ruku', he had caught up with the rak'ah. That's the opinion which is we believe is the correct one, and we understand there's another opinion that if you caught up with the ruku' and you missed the Fatiha, you did not catch up with the rak'ah. But as I said, there's a hadith there, man adraka al-ruku' faqad adraka al-rak'ah. He caught up with the ruku', he caught up with the rak'ah. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And the hadith also of hadith Abi Bakr. نعم. English يا حبيبي. No English يمكن؟ ما في عندك انجليزي؟ شوية تفضل.
هل يجوز الناس في الصلاة قبل الإمام يسلم السلام يسلم هل يجوز؟
قبل الإمام يسلم قبل الإمام؟
أي ما الإمام صور السلام.
طيب العربي الجواب ولا بالإنجليزي؟ ولا بالصيني؟ طيب. Question was, some people they make salutation with the Imam or even before the Imam. Okay, the case of with the Imam, then this is prohibited. And before the Imam, prohibited, and it is invalidation. He has to repeat the salutation again after the Imam. So إنما جعل الإمام ليتم به. Imam was made to be followed, not to be preceded. If he had preceded the Imam in Takbirat al-Ihram with the consensus of all scholars and all madhab, his prayer is invalid. But if he had preceded the Imam in any other than the Takbirat al-Ihram, that's between invalidation. Imam Ahmad says invalid. And the other Imams, they say it is prohibited. And it's correct opinion, say it's prohibited, and he has to do it again, salam, because he didn't. But if you have made equalization, then this is, you are almost going to precede him. It's not invalidation, but you're almost going to be in that category. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم.